Okay, 3, 2, 1, liftoff. Welcome all to the Black Column Podcast. I am your host, Jabaya, aka the Crew Philosopher.
And I'm Shannon, aka your favorite blurred.
And we are here once again to bring you another episode of the Black Column. Shannon, how was your week?
It was good. I took my grandma to get a COVID vaccine on this past Sunday. I feel like I could have gotten one too if I asked them, but I was too afraid to ask. But I definitely felt like I could have. It was kind of very lax environment there. So when she goes back to get her second one, I'm going to ask if I can get one.
So basically, you thought it was a good idea to confess to a crime on our podcast.
Not a crime. I've been hearing about people all over the place that are not qualified getting vaccines under certain circumstances.
So not only did you confess to wanting to commit a crime, you are also snitching.
No, but I wouldn't be like committing a crime by lying. Like I was not going to pretend that I'm in any groups that are eligible. I was just going to ask if I could get one because I've been hearing about people just letting people get vaccines. Like I have a coworker that was able to get her vaccine when she took her grandmother in to get one. And I feel like sometimes it depends on the situation that they'll just give it to you.
So you just snitched?
Yeah, I don't care. I didn't name drop. No one's going to get in trouble for this.
Wow. With friends like Shannon, who needs enemies? I'm
not snitching. I'm just letting people know that it might be possible. It's not like
I hope I don't rob a bank with Shannon.
That's not even the same thing. This is not the same kind of situation.
I hear you. I made an eye doctor's appointment the other day because I'm going to get my eyes checked out, but then I realized I didn't get the vaccine yet. So I don't really see a safe way to get my eyes examined. Like it seems like, I'm just saying.
I feel like going to the eye doctor right now is safer than going to the dentist.
Oh no, yeah, because in a dentist your mouth is open. But remember, the eyes is still like a entry point for the virus. It's just very uncommon. And remember, when they get real close to you, like and they have you, like for me, because I have high eye pressure. So every time I go to the eye doctor, they do this thing where I gotta sit with my eyes open like this for so long, and I take these weird field tests. I'm gonna say my eyes are open an extraordinary amount at the eye doctor.
I don't even remember the last time I've been to the eye doctor. Oh my God. I feel like it's been years.
It has been. So I might cancel my appointment until I think Fauci said that in April he thinks that anyone could get a vaccine. Okay. I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, me too.
I'm gonna get mine 3 weeks after you get yours.
No. I'm gonna lie and say I got mine, and then I'll let you get yours, and then I'll get mine.
Okay. So all right. I've been doing well. I've been doing okay. You know, just I did another podcast with my guy Derek, Derek Sinclair. He is a credit consultant, and we did a great show about credit.
Ooh, I'm gonna listen to that.
Yeah. FYI. It is recommended that you have between 3 to 5 credit cards, which I didn't know.
But I don't like that because you basically always have to be using your credit cards. Like I learned a lot. Like you can't just leave it sitting open with like not making any transactions because that affects your credit. Everything affects your credit. It's crazy. Yeah.
So I asked him how come checking my own credit score affects my credit score when it's my credit score. How much should you worry or care about your partner? If you're going to marry her, how much should you care if she has a lot of debt? He gave some very useful information. So that was pretty cool to talk to him.
And I'm gonna listen to that episode. I didn't.
Yeah, I think I
saw like clips of it, but I didn't actually listen to it.
He's a really good dude. So it was like super dope seeing somebody that I went to school with kind of doing something that they felt compelled and called to do. Because I would have never guessed he would be doing this when we was in college together.
I was about to say, is this high school or college? Because I don't know who you're talking about.
College.
Okay.
Yeah, college. So without further ado, let's get into some news, Shannon, because there's a lot to talk about. Mm-hmm. And usually when me and Shannon get together, pre-show, I'm gonna give you guys some vaccine pre-show knowledge. Right? So usually when we get together, we plan what we're going to talk about, right? So during the week, me and Shannon have a shared notes, with our iPhones, and we jot things down. Usually not until like the night before, the day before, and so then today comes and we do our quick little meeting and we decide, okay, well, what from the list we're going to talk about, because you can't talk about everything on the list. Mm-hmm. It'd be like 9-10 items, and usually it's some back and forth, and then we get the first one. Shannon knew immediately what she wanted to talk about today. Mm-hmm. she knew off the rip. Oh, we're gonna talk about Gorilla Glue Girl. Right? That's what we're gonna talk about. So, Shannon, why were you so passionate to speak about this young lady?
First of all, this is
and
just
first, let's describe what happened for anyone who doesn't know what happened.
Okay, so yes, a young woman. Don't remember her name. Tessica, something like that. Whatever. So she, she wants to be cute. So she was doing a little hairstyle, that requires it to be slicked down, requires the use of gel to like hold it in place. So she ran out of her got to be glued hairspray. And instead of going out to the store to get more hairspray, she decided to use something else I guess she had in her home, which was a Gorilla Glue adhesive spray. Gorilla Glue adhesive spray. She decided to use that on her hair, thinking that it was hairspray. I don't know if she thought it was hairspray or if she used it and thought that it would be okay. Either way.
So this woman's name is Tessica Brown.
Okay, yes. So she used it. She had it in her head for a month. Her hair was kind of like, it was rock hard, stiff. She wasn't able to get it out. She wasn't able to wash it. She wasn't able to get it to move. So she started documenting her problems on social media. She started getting a lot of attention. I guess she went to the hospital to try to get removed, but I guess it didn't get removed. TMZ talked about her. So some big plastic surgeon in LA said that he would do a procedure on her to remove the glue for free. She started a GoFundMe. She raised like $13,000 for her medical bills. Listen, I mean, what? I saw today that I think the plastic surgeon was able to remove it. I saw a video and she's not bald. She actually still has quite a bit of hair left. So good for her. Good for her for coming out of this still with hair on her head. Don't know if her hair follicles are damaged or not. So who knows if her hair will grow anymore. We'll see. But it's just a very bizarre story, a very, very bizarre story. And I just don't know how one brings themselves to do such a thing.
So here's the thing, Shannon. Why did this story trigger you so much? Because see, I understand.
The only part that triggers me so much, because before, like when I was like following this and like reading it, I was like, that was really stupid, but I feel bad because that's kind of a traumatic experience. Because hair is important to a lot of people. If you have to shave all your hair off, like that's a kind of a traumatizing experience. The part that made me upset is the part that she plans to sue Gorilla Glue. Sue Gorilla Glue for what? For what are you suing them for? What are you suing them for? What are you suing them for? Why did you use glue in your hair? It's glue.
I don't know why she used glue in her hair. This story was entertaining to me when I first heard it because I just couldn't fathom putting glue in my hair, or so then I was like, wait, do women have glues that they put in their hair? Because I know, y'all wear a lot of weave. So
okay, so there's like hair glue that some women use to glue their like wigs down. But it specifically says it's hair glue. It's not like Elmer's glue. It's not like, regular industrial glue or like, appliance glue. It's glue made specifically for that. It's not.
See, I'm learning stuff. I had no idea that there was hair for glue. I mean, glue for hair. Mm-hmm. So that part was funny. Then when I heard the lawsuit angle, I was like, wow, there's no way this is going to be a thing. And then I was reading some articles and I realized, holy shit, this could be a thing. Because I don't think Gorilla Glue ever thought anyone would be dumb enough to put glue in their hair. And that over confidence in people's intelligence might cost them thousands or millions of dollars. And so watching this play out is going to be fascinating because you might have a woman who was so dumb that she dumbs her way into a tax bracket that people with intelligence are not ever going to see in their lifetime. Yeah. And that's the epitome of America.
And it's just crazy to me. It's so crazy how to think that she even has a case, to think that Gorilla Glue might have to give her their money just because she didn't read or she wasn't. Oh my God, it's just so crazy.
It is. It is. But see, and I hope this girl doesn't have like real issues because I'm looking at pictures of her and she looks a little bit lost in the eyes. Like
I'm not gonna comment on that.
No, I'm just saying. Like she got that blank look. So I'm trying to make sure that because I don't see how any rational person puts glue in their hair, outside of mistaking a bottle. But it doesn't sound like she mistook the bottle.
I mean, she could have maybe. There's a hair brand called Gorilla Snot.
Really?
Yeah, there is. So maybe I'm good. That's what I was thinking when I first started seeing the story. I'm like, maybe she mistook it, but Gorilla Snot and Gorilla Glue are two different things. Reading is fundamental. You would have known that if you just read the bottle.
She's verified on Twitter now. Oh, on Instagram.
Lord.
She's verified. She's verified on Instagram. She's probably under like a book deal or something. She's going to profit off of her stupidity. Like,
that's so crazy. Everyday people. That's so crazy though. Everyday people who are struggling to come up in this world. You and me, you know, doing the right thing, trying to have informed conversations. And here we are. And then here's this girl who puts glue in her hair, and there she is, up at the top.
I mean, yeah, but it's not shocking. Just look at the state of the world around us. Like the people. Somebody made this point about the pandemic, which is when the coronavirus first hit the United States. Me and Shannon, once again, I always forget. We live in New York, so we were shut down a lot sooner than most of you guys out there, and some more severe. So when the coronavirus came to New York, you know, we didn't take it seriously. But then once it was like widespread, the shutdowns happened, Shannon, and immediately you kind of saw the people who are looked at as the lowest on the job poll, so to speak, were the only people who were essential. And so people who we shit on all the time, you know, grocery workers and delivery drivers and, you know, people who, you know, they get the least amount of pay. We look over them all the time. Those were the people that were essential, yet they're making the least amount of money. And the people who were making the most amount of money, they were non-essential. I mean, for a couple of weeks and months, people weren't even obsessed with celebrity culture the way they usually are. It's like people remember what mattered. And so in a weird way, this isn't shocking that somebody's going to fail their way into, you know, some type of reality TV show contract or winning a lawsuit or whatever. It's wow. It's about to see.
I don't really care if she got the fame, like whatever, but it's just really crazy. To me, the craziest thing would be if she wins the lawsuit. Like, I just feel like that is so bizarre to me.
If you're a betting person, what is your over under?
I'm still gonna give more of a chance to Gorilla Glue for winning the case. Maybe like 60-40. I don't know.
60-40 Gorilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 70-30 Gorilla, but still,
wow.
I mean, a 30% chance to win a case like this is insane.
Yeah.
Incredible. It's all because they might have just not taken into account.
But then, like, if they put hair, okay, so you're saying it's because they didn't put "please don't use in hair" on the bottle, right?
That's what. Yes.
But then they would have to put everything not to use it on.
Well, they do, because remember they say don't put on skin. Yep. So skin pretty much covers.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Most of your body. Eyes is always up there, right? And so they do have almost everything covered, except the hair, I think.
Oh Lord.
You know what I'm saying? So that, you know, that's going to be very, very interesting to see how that.
But even so, like, even if it doesn't say hair, and I'm just sitting here pondering, like, is this okay to use in my hair? Why don't you just like test it out, like on paper, like on an object, and just see, like, just see what happens, or maybe like a Google search, like, is it okay if I use this in my hair? Like, no, I don't think she should have been so rash to just like, you know, just spray it.
You know, the hotep's are going to say this is what happens when you don't love your natural hair.
Oh Lord. But that was that.
That's more of the story. Love yourself, black woman.
Oh my God.
All right. Now to some more serious stuff. Impeachment trial part 2. Trump impeachment 2.0 is going on. It's dramatic. They're playing videos.
Unseen footage. Never before seen.
Unseen footage. Senators getting escorted out. I haven't watched a lick of the trial. Shannon, what say you?
I literally watched a tiny bit. I only heard when one of Trump's lawyers were speaking, and I wish that I had pulled up some quotes that I could read off. Maybe I'm gonna look for some if you want to just give your thoughts.
Yeah,
and then I'll look for it.
So just real quick before you do your little research. Was you not watching the impeachment trial because of just forgetting?
No. I didn't forget. I knew it was happening, and like I tuned in from time to time. I just didn't watch like the whole thing.
Okay, so I'm boycotting the impeachment trial.
Why?
I want that to be known. I am boycotting the impeachment trial because this entire thing is fake news. The entire thing is fake news.
How so? Go
right?
ahead.
In multiple facets.
Mhm.
And I want Black people to really hear me during this next minute or two that I'm monologuing here. I know I'm going to come across as a defender of Trump, but I would ask you to just open your mind,
Oh my
just
God.
for a couple of seconds.
Oh my
Just
Lord.
open your mind to what I'm saying and see my full position. I knew this trial was going to play out the way it was going to play out because there was no connection to Trump inciting these people by the Supreme Court standard that we have already on the books, right? It doesn't matter what he intended. It doesn't matter. You have to prove that there was a clear directive given to incite what happened on January 6th. There is no such evidence that proves that's true. What you're watching play out, the Democrats, they're putting these videos out there of these long 12, 13-minute videos of people, in the Capitol, hunting people, trying to hang Mike Pence, right? They're trying to drum up emotion, right? They're trying to drum up emotion to convince the American public so that they are more in favor of impeachment, which will push the Republicans to impeach Donald Trump. Because here's why I'm saying this whole thing is a farce. There is a 90% chance Donald Trump is not going to be found guilty at the end of this trial. That's why I'm saying this entire thing is a farce, but it comes with consequences that I don't think African Americans are aware of. Court cases don't exist in a vacuum. People forget that. Court cases do not exist in a vacuum. There's a reason why whenever we're looking to establish new laws, we check to see previous cases to see what precedent was set, right? We have previous incitement laws, previous incitement court cases that we go to whenever someone today is accused of incitement. And so if Donald Trump is found guilty of incitement based off of this emotional ass evidence, it sets a new precedent. It expands the definition of incitement. Shannon, true or false, have you not heard language that was equally or more aggressive at protests during the previous summer, during the Black Lives Matter stuff, than you did on the Capitol?
One more time.
Have you heard?
Are you talking about what Trump said specifically, or what are you talking about?
No, Trump is on trial for incitement.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying it. Have you heard language from Black activists at Black rallies during this last summer, or even go way back to like Michael Brown, right? Just think of all of the speeches and stuff you heard. Have you heard language that was as aggressive as Trump's speech on January 6th, or more aggressive than Trump's speech on January 6th? Yes or no?
I didn't even hear Trump's speech, TBH. So I don't know. I can't answer that. But I have heard. Have you heard speeches from Black activists? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I have heard similar type speeches, yes, but I just can't compare it to Trump's speech.
Totally get it.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my point. If Donald Trump is convicted of incitement, it expands the legal definition of incitement. We have a new precedent on what type of speech can be viewed as incitement. Right now, she hasn't heard Donald Trump's speech. I read parts of Donald Trump's speech that took place on January 6th. And so if we both agree that we've heard language at Black rallies that has been as passionate, quote unquote, or even more inflammatory, right? What do you think is going to happen the next time there is a speech by a Black leader or Black activist, and then there is those type of riots or unrest that took place this past summer, where people was burning down pharmacies and burning down businesses and doing all types of violent stuff, right? That leader or that Black person, Black man or Black woman, can then be charged with incitement because we have expanded the definition of incitement. I'm looking at this big picture, right? I do not hate that man enough to create my own noose, so to speak. And I think a lot of black people are doing that. They are so emotional about Trump. And I don't know why, to be honest with you. The man is gone. He's not president anymore. But they are so emotionally triggered by Trump that they aren't looking at this case objectively. And if by some small chance Donald Trump is convicted, we are the ones moving forward that are going to be in trouble. That it's going to be us, because we have then expanded the definition of incitement. And I just wanted my position to be out there. And today is, what's today's date? February 11th, 2021. Because once this happens, by the way, I want my credit. Oh, damn, Jabaya was right. Go ahead, Shannon. Go ahead.
No. I understand Jabaya, I understand where you're coming from. I even though what was I gonna say? Oh my god, I lost my train of thought.
Even though you despise Trump,
I understand what.
Good.
I do despise Trump, and I do. I mean, he didn't directly tell these people to break into the Capitol and do such and such and such, but and like I know what you're saying. So even everything I say now is not gonna make any logical sense compared to what you said, because he still did tell them to, he basically called them to action, but I know he didn't tell them to break into the Capitol. So I understand what you're saying. Mm-hmm. And I know that there is a very high chance that he probably will not be convicted.
He's not getting convicted.
So, no, just like last time. So I agree. I mean, not that I agree, but I understand your point.
There would have to be some huge reveal that I don't know about of they would have to have like a phone call where Donald Trump is talking to
one of them,
somebody. Mm-hmm. Hey, all right, so as soon as I get to this part of my speech, I need y'all to go in there and storm that goddamn Capitol building, right? Outside of that, he's not getting impeached. And so this entire thing is just political theater. That is all this is. It's political theater. People are getting emotional. And the Democrats, they know what they're doing. They are playing this content, trying to make the people, because once again, they haven't brought to the forefront any evidence that shows incitement. Well, once again, I don't care about Trump's intentions. I don't care, what he meant. It doesn't matter. We have a legal standard. And I do not hate that man enough to create a new legal standard that casts a wider net on Americans, because you know how colorful black people get when we get passionate, speaking at rallies and stuff. I have consistently heard that, in order for, black people to progress, we have to tear this country down and build it up in our own image, right? You've heard that a bunch of times. Somebody says that, so Trump's guilty, new president, a new precedent. Somebody says what I just said. Then at night, a bunch of looters and rioters, they burn down businesses, they loot businesses. That black leader can't be charged with incitement. In fact, they tried to do that with black leaders in the 60s. Charged them with incitement when riots did happen after speeches given by prominent black Americans. And I just think we need to be more mindful of that before we just trying to, rewrite the rules and lock Trump up. Okay, well, is it really worth locking Trump up if you lay down 5 or 6 more tripwires for yourself?
That's true. I understand your point. I think they really want it so that he doesn't run again, though, is what their goal is.
Real quick, I just did a quick Google. Guess who was accused of inciting violence?
Who?
Martin Luther King Jr.
Oh yeah,
This is just how easily things can go down, and I don't understand why. And this is why
I think they really I don't think it's about him going to jail. I just think that they really don't want him to run again in 4 years. I mean, neither do I. But I think that's what their overall goal is.
No, that's obvious. This entire trial is about 2 things. One, grievance, right? I said this before. They are upset that this happened to them. This is personal for Democrats, right? Their lives were in trouble. For the first time in their life, Shannon, for most of these people, for the first time in their life, they feared for their life. Mm-hmm. Right? It ain't like us growing up when we grew up, Shannon, how many times in your life were you scared that you might get shot?
That I might what? That I might die?
No, get shot.
Never.
Assaulted.
A few times.
4 or 5.
Maybe like 3, maybe 4.
3 times.
I don't know.
So there's been 4
Couple
times where you thought there was a reasonable chance that you could get assaulted.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's what this is for them. Mm-hmm. They could have legitimately been harmed on what happened January 6th. And I'm not even downplaying that it was a traumatic experience. It probably was a traumatic experience. But no, it was not 9/11. No, it was not Pearl Harbor or any of these other previous historical events that this incident keeps getting compared to. This is personal for them, number one. And number two, to Shannon's point, they want to prevent Donald Trump from running again in 4 years because they know they barely sneaked this out. In fact, I mean,
it wasn't 9/11 or Pearl Harbor. It was a huge breach of security, though. But I know what you're trying to say. Continue.
Yes. Damn it. Everyone who died was old. And they died from like heart attacks.
I'm just talking about I'm not talking about like the human life part of it, because that's not comparable to 9/11 or Pearl Harbor. Of course, obviously not. But I'm just talking
But even the scope, because I feel fine.
Okay.
I'm just saying, when 9/11 happened, I was like, God damn. Like even people who didn't even live in New York was like, oh my God, what happened? People
did you even understand what was happening when 9/11? We were so young.
And I remember because I left. It was the first time the school let me leave by myself.
Yeah. Oh, they let you live by yourself?
Yeah.
They didn't let me leave by myself. We had to wait for our parents to go get us.
No, it was me and my little brother. And so
they let you leave by yourself? Hold? Weren't we in like 3rd grade?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why I knew this must be bad. And so
yeah, I had to wait for my dad to come pick us up. But I still didn't really even know what was going on.
I'm sure I didn't have the full context in my mind, but I remember coming home and my father was in the living room watching the TV, and I was like, well, this is definitely weird because my father is never home. He's always working. Yeah. And so when I came and I saw him watching the TV, I saw like just the World Trade Center and smoke, and then I went into my parents' room, and every station was playing the towers getting hit except for 2 stations, I think, Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon.
Okay. Yes. Probably
right?
Disney Channel too. I don't know.
Disney. It was 3.
Yes.
But I think that was important. I think it was like kids could have something to watch instead of watching this traumatic shit.
Of course.
And so that's what I remember. But look, my only point is that's what this is about. This is about preventing Donald Trump from running again in 4 years because they barely sneaked this out this past election. If not for an act of God, which is what the pandemic was.
But don't you think that's? I mean, I know that it doesn't really make sense for him. I know what you're saying about him not directly inciting any violence by him not directly saying it, but I feel like there needs to be some level of accountability for this. Like, this was it was still a huge event. Like, tons of people stormed into a high security building, and it could have been a lot worse. Like, what if somebody planted bombs, which they were trying to? It could have been a lot worse than what it was.
Shannon, coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Okay. Well,
I'm just saying.
But I'm just saying though, there needs to be
a level. Your attitude is the problem.
No. I'm saying that there needs to be a level of accountability for it. It could have been a lot worse.
So you tell me what should happen then?
I'm just okay.
No, I'm asking the question because the argument you're making is
somebody needs to go down for it. That's all I'm saying.
And see, I respect you for admitting it because basically what you're saying is there's no legal reason for him to be on trial, but I feel like he did something wrong, and so he should be punished. That is what's happening here. There's no legal argument for incitement. It's just he did this bad thing happened. Trump played a role in it, which he did. That said, did you see the Times article that came out about I think it's the Time article, not New York Times. The Time article basically admitting to collusion.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, there was a Time article written basically. It wasn't saying that there was election fraud as far as votes being flipped or withheld, but the entire article was written saying that there was like this cooperation going on between CEOs of companies and tech giants and stuff to make sure the election went the right way.
Oh,
we are living in shady times.
Democrats, no doubt that we're living in shady times. Of course, we are.
Yeah, and they snuck this out because of an act of God. Because I'm telling you, if not for coronavirus, Donald J. Trump will be repeating a second term right now, and they know it deep down in their soul. They know it, and so like Shannon said, that's what's driving this stuff. But I think as Black people, we need to see the bigger picture, because the state doesn't care about left wing or right wing. Like the state just wants more power so that they can surveil us and watch us and charge people. And we are condoning this stuff now. Black people are condoning no-fly list and things of that nature.
You don't think that there should be a no-fly list?
What gets you on a no-fly list?
Attempted terrorism? I don't know.
Okay, so you're saying everyone at the Capitol is an attempted terrorist?
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying in general. I'm not saying all of that.
I'm just saying, okay. But who decides? Do we even know which agency decides who puts you on a no-fly list? Is there a trial?
I have no clue. I don't know. I don't know who.
You know what I'm saying? But we just sitting here like, yeah, go ahead, put them on the no-fly list. This is bad. I'm telling you, this is bad news, and I'm calling it out. And the fact that
yes, I understand what you're saying. My official position is that somebody needs to be held accountable for a major threat to security. That's all I have to say. Would you be saying the same thing if they had planted the pipe bombs and they exploded at the Capitol?
I'm still shocked that no one is talking about the pipe bombs. To this day,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, would you feel the same if the pipe bombs exploded? Yeah.
Yes. Now, okay. I will say this: he would probably be in more danger of being impeached. But to me, I would just look at it not impeached, of being found guilty. He's already impeached. He would be in danger of being found guilty. But I would still say that is an emotional decision being made. There's no evidence that he incited this, because remember, they found a bomb at the DNC and the RNC.
The DNC and the RNC, yeah, both. Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of hard to say that person was a Trump supporter versus this is somebody that was trying to, and that the bomber would have been the inciter, trying to incite some huge, panic and people getting trampled and killed. And so I don't know. We just have to be careful, I think, as Black people, to make sure that we're looking at the big picture and not out here taking down Trump, which will lead to us getting arrested 2-3 years from now.
Okay, that's fair.
So I gotta say.
Okay.
Next we have Shannon. We have your pollution story.
Yes. Let me pull that up real quick, just so I can have my facts straight.
And this one is a doozy.
Yes, it is. It's very, people should be. Anyway, we live in New York. This should be alarming to anyone who lives in New York City, because the subway is a primary source of transportation. So it's basically an article about the pollution in the U.S. subway systems and how high it is, and basically something to think about next time you ride in the train. So basically, I don't really remember it off the top of my head to really summarize the whole article, but basically they did tests on a bunch of subways in New York City and in a couple other places. I think Boston, Jersey, Philadelphia, other places that have like prominent subway systems.
Yeah.
Okay, so when they did these tests, they found that levels of tiny specks of pollution called PM2.5 were well above nationally determined safe levels of 35 micrograms per cubic meter in each of the cities. So New York was the worst. So New York Metropolitan Transit Authority system had 251 micrograms per cubic meter in like most of the subway systems, and 35 is the average, safe level. And they were finding mostly 251 micrograms. And then DC was second worst. So they had 145 micrograms. Philadelphia was the cleanest system, but still had high amounts. Yeah, but they had the least amount. So it was okay.
Still over, but
yeah. So basically, they're just trying to raise awareness that we should be a little concerned about these toxins that we're inhaling every day when you're standing in the subway waiting for the train for long periods of time. And basically the impact that's going to have on your health overall, which they said in this article that they don't really know the long-term effects of inhaling all this stuff, but still something to be aware of. And in particular, Christopher Street, which is a Manhattan station that helps connect New York and New Jersey, had a particle pollution level of 1,499 micrograms per cubic meter, 77 times the safe level. So that's crazy to me. And, we got to take a break from all this politics talk. And are you sleeping?
Yeah, well, I tried to lie. And I was like, yeah, I was sleeping.
Yeah, you were. I could tell. Anyway, as I was saying, got to take a break. Take your mind away from politics for a second, because I feel like that's all we talk about in the world right now. And like, think about the other things, the things that are killing you in your everyday life, like the subway air.
So, in my defense, I wasn't sleeping because Shannon was born. I wasn't sleeping because she was born. I promise you, I wasn't. I was just sleeping because I was just tired. But I would like to bring this point up. The subway looks nasty.
Yes, it does.
You see,
in New York, and only in some places. And the subway has a potential of looking very clean. When I was
going to bring that up. When I was in DC, and I took the subway, it was one of the cleanest places that I've seen in my life. And by the way,
DC's just as dirty in terms of pollutant, so it's all a farce. Continue.
I'm with you. I'm just saying the fact that we look dirty in New York City, right? Like you'll be down there and everything looks filthy. And so you're not even under the illusion that this is a clean, spot. So, for example, when I heard, now I was asleep now, but when I heard that Shannon read those stats before, about Christopher Street,
yep,
I wasn't like shocked. Oh my God, I can't believe it. No, it sounds very believable. But the fact that I'm not concerned because I've been traveling in filth for years, I think it's part of the problem that Shannon's talking about, because this is like it's so normal for us. Yeah.
And like we kind of wonder, like cancer is a very prominent disease, obviously, and we wonder like how cancer, like how these things come about in our bodies, and it literally is because of things in our environment. Some of the time, actually, a lot of the time, that makes up a lot of this. So people really should be thinking about that.
This brings up another part of the conversation to be had where. But
really quickly before you change the subject, I'm sorry. Never mind. Continue. I'll just go after you.
Okay, I was gonna say that this brings up an interesting conversation about how much about the environmental degradation or deterioration do you disclose to the community, because it's not just the subway stuff, right? Because see, that sounds like it should be important information, but somewhere some people decided that information was not important enough for the public to know. You see what I'm saying? And so it brings into question, okay, well, who's deciding which part of the public safety stuff is important? Because to me, that sounded pretty important.
It is pretty important.
The only reason why you want to tell us this is because you want to make sure that people keep using the subway so you can still make your money, which then means you have a conflict of interest. And so that makes me uncomfortable. Also, people don't realize this. I'm not going to tell you where I live, but in the Bronx, by the Cross Bronx Expressway. Shannon, come on, man. You gotta get away where I live. I'm just saying, we have like the highest, I think the highest levels of asthma in the city. And one of the theories is because of the Cross Bronx Expressway. All them cars driving by, those fumes going up, it's making people in the community sick. Once again, extremely important information that I feel like no one talks about.
Yeah. And so according to this article, so the pollution that they found in the Christopher Street subway station is the worst pollution ever measured in a subway system, higher than some of the worst days in Beijing or New Delhi. So
let me ask you a question, given this information. Do you think we should start walking around with those masks? Because isn't the reason why they walk around with masks on over in the Asian countries is because of the pollution levels?
No, I mean that might be part of it. But no, they wear masks for germ purposes.
Why do
it's for germs?
The Asians.
It's for germs.
Walk around.
They wear masks when they feel like they're sick so that they don't spread their germs. A logical thing that we should adapt in practice also after this pandemic is over.
Hold on. I want to find out if Shannon is fake news Shannon or not.
It's not fake news. It's true. Oh, I also have something. After you read these stats, I have something else from the article that I want to pick out.
Okay. In Asia, it's considered good hygiene to wear a mask. It's thought to be considerate of others. Yes. It can even be stylish to wear a patterned mask. Maybe we should think of...
It's because of germs. Yeah.
Okay. When I first lived in Tokyo in 1984, I noticed that people sometimes wore medical masks out on the street. When I asked the other expats, they told me that the Japanese wore them when they were sick to protect others from getting their germs.
That's what I said. That's right.
Being polite. Okay.
So here, well, actually, I don't want to get off topic. I just want to continue.
Oh, wait, I was right too. When we moved to Beijing in 2011, there were days when the pollution was so thick that I couldn't see more than 4 feet outside of the window.
Well, that makes sense for Beijing because the air quality in China is, especially Beijing, is terrible.
Okay, and so given your study, should we keep wearing masks?
That's what this was another point I was going to bring up. After this is all over and we don't have to wear masks every day outside, should we practice wearing masks when we are sick to keep our germs in, like in Asian countries? I feel like that only makes sense.
We should, but Americans just don't care about.
Yeah, I know Americans don't. I know Americans are literally the most selfish people ever. So
it's incredible to even imagine. Like they just don't care.
They don't.
Like the other like yesterday, we're in the house and there's like these so my neighbors, they babysit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's just the noise of running in the hallway, but like for a long amount of time. It started like at noon and it went on to like maybe 5 or 6, on and off, on and off, on and off. And so she just had the kids just running in the hallway, but like not because they were disobeying her. She just didn't care.
Yeah.
Now,
inconsiderate. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. And that's just like, to me, the perfect snapshot of Americans. They don't care if they're sick. They're just going to go on a subway anyway. I mean, the nasty shit I saw before coronavirus. I mean, people, you learn in like junior high school, hey, you sneeze and you cough into your arm. You know why? Because if you sneeze and you cough into your hand, and then you just hold the pole on the train, thank you for delivering the germs to the pole, and then the next person behind you gets the germs. Or when you shake somebody's hand at work or wherever. But no, these people are nasty. They're inconsiderate. America just want to die. Just cutting the slick.
I literally hate the subway. This past year of not having to get on the train to go to work has literally been a blessing.
Life-changing.
But also, so researchers calculated that someone making a typical commute to and from Christopher Street was increasing their risk of an adverse cardiovascular event by 10%.
Wait, what? Repeat that?
The researchers calculated that someone making a typical commute to and from Christopher Street was increasing their risk of an adverse cardiovascular event by 10%.
Now that seems serious.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically like a heart attack, right?
Yep. So
you know what? You think they're trying to kill us? No, hear me out here. I've been thinking about this for a while, right? Like the what's the average life expectancy of a American male?
Let's see. Are you looking it up?
Yeah, average life expectancy in the U.S. male. So it's okay. I don't know if this is for male, but the average life expectancy in the U.S. in general is 78.54 years.
Okay.
Right now, I think we start getting Social Security at 65.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much, 13 years of Social Security income after giving the country 50 years of service, and this is average, which means a certain percentage of us are going to die well below 78. So right around 70, 71, 72. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like we forget that, there's a profit motive to kill off a certain percentage of Americans. And so maybe that's why they don't really care to tell us about this pollution and stuff, because they hope that we get sick and die, and pollution
population control. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't want to sound all Alex Jonesy, but it just seems weird that this is not considered important information. A 10% increase for a cardiovascular event?
Yep.
Oh, no.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Just think about that when you're riding the subway. I mean, but there's not really much option. There's not much else if you don't drive. If you live in New York City, there's really not much else. So I don't really know what to tell you.
Are you reconsidering my proposal?
No, I'm not. If I move anywhere, it's gonna be out of this country. Okay, I cannot stand this place anymore.
You said Bali, right? That's where you want to go?
No, I mean maybe not Bali. Like
Oh.
I'll be fine in Canada. Like I can take myself over to Canada and be just fine.
That's insane, but whatever. Trade it. All right.
But anyway, I was just quickly about the subways. I went to Thailand in February of 2019, and their subways in Bangkok were impeccably clean. It was crazy, and they barely have garbage cans anywhere. They hold their trash until they get to a garbage can or they get home. It's crazy.
Now, when you went to Thailand, where did you go specifically?
I went to Chiang Mai, I went to Bangkok, and I went to Phuket.
Right. That's why they can have clean subways.
What do you mean?
Well, look, American tourism in Bangkok, I mean...
But I feel like a lot of Asian countries have clean subway systems, to be honest.
Well, so Asians, like I said, Asians are very, they are rule-following people.
Mm-hmm.
The current incarnation of Asians. Because, you had a period of time when you had, like,
What? I don't know what you're trying to say.
What's that guy's name? He like took over like the bad Asian guy. What was his name?
You're losing me.
Who's the guy?
I don't know who you're talking about. Who are you talking about? What are you saying?
Wait. Who is the dude from Mulan?
Oh,
that was a real person.
Yes. I forgot his name though.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying there was a point in time where Asians were, just like everybody else. But in the current incarnation, they are very rule following, high trust in government, even governments that are weird to us. Like they don't be like this. They don't look at the communist government in China the way we do. Mm-hmm. They don't. Mm-hmm. It's different for most of them. Even when you go to Singapore, high trust society, North Korea, just many places where they don't have problems following directions, believing the government. They have faith that the government has their best interest at heart. We have the opposite. We have a revolutionary spirit in America, right? And so we believe in bucking against the system. We don't trust the government. And look, the government has given plenty of reason to be for us to not trust it. But so I'm not surprised that when you went to Thailand that it was very clean and people were holding their trash until they got to a garbage can, because culturally speaking, that falls in line with being a rule following society. But I'm just saying that the tourism that they get from Bangkok, and it's kind of why they let so much stuff slide in Bangkok, because the tourism money helps fund a lot of what goes on in Thailand as well. Mm-hmm. So because keeping a clean subway is expensive. Yeah, like really expensive.
But don't you think that that's something good that New York taxpayer money could go towards, other than whatever else we're spending our money on? I don't know.
No, I'm with you. We need an entire just revamp. Like I just don't understand how a city that takes so much taxes like us can have such a dirty subway system. And it has to be they just don't care. Well, because we don't care. I mean, why should they care? Like
I feel like we don't care enough. I feel like we've come to accept the filth that we walk into every day underground with all the rats and things like that. I feel like we've come to accept that as normal. Life. And it's not normal. Not normal. Yeah. As we just said, it's killing you. So just think about that.
So if you're doing the budget proposal for New York State or for New York City and you're trying to find out, okay, well, where should we put our funds and our money to go to? If literally no one is complaining about the subway,
they're not going to do it.
Why would you put money towards improving the subway when you use that money for a whole bunch of other stuff? Mm-hmm. So I'm with you. We have to make noise, and I think people would make noise if they knew that article that you provided today about a 10% increase of a cardiovascular event. Mm-hmm. So it's insane. So let's move on to the $15 minimum wage.
Okay.
That everyone has been excited about. Raising the minimum wage to $15, but there was a report that was released by the CBO. Wow, I forgot what CBO stands for. What does CBO stand for again?
Crickets. I don't know.
Damn it. Oh, the Congressional Budget Office.
Okay.
I can't believe I forgot that. So the CBO released a report that was trending on Twitter that stated that raising the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour by 2025, which is the proposal that is going through Congress, it would increase wages for at least 17 million people, but also put 1.4 million Americans out of work.
Yes.
Right. And so I actually clicked the link within the article to get a more detailed explanation about what was going on. And I think this is really information. I think this is really good information that is worth reading some of it. And so it says, if enacted at the end of March 2021, the Raise the Wage Act of 2021 would raise the federal minimum wage in annual increments to $15 per hour by June 2025, and then adjust it to increase at the same rate as median hourly wages. I didn't know that part. Did you know
that? Keep that part again. Keep it again, because I feel like I lost you in the last bit.
Yeah, so it says, if enacted at the end of March 2021, the Raise the Wage Act of 2021 would raise the federal minimum wage in annual increments to $15 per hour by June 2025, and then adjust it to increase at the same rate as median hourly wages.
Okay, so it's not jumping to 15, it's gradually increasing to 15?
Yes.
Got it.
By 2025, and then it adjusts the median hourly wage as well. And so it said the cumulative budget deficit over the 2021 to 2031 period would increase by 54 billion. Increases in annual deficits would be smaller before 2025, as the minimum wage increases were being phased in than in later years. Higher prices for goods and services, stemming from the higher wages of workers paid at or near the minimum wage, such as those providing long-term health care, would contribute to increases in federal spending. Changes in employment and in the distribution of income would increase spending for some programs, such as unemployment compensation, and reduce spending for others, such as nutrition programs, and boost federal revenues on net. Now, that is a lot of information. It's basically saying that raising the minimum wage, what it's going to do, it would increase the budget. Goods and services, the prices of those would go up because more people have money. And unemployment compensation will go up because of the 1.7 people that will be unemployed, but there will be a reduction in the nutrition program and other programs like that because less people would be in poverty.
Yep.
So with all that information, Shannon, do you think we should raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour by 2025?
I think something needs to be done to empower people to, not empower people, but to enable people to get out of poverty. So I feel like a wage increase is necessary. I mean, I know it's going to come with complications to small businesses and things like that, people that can't afford to pay their employees that much money. But what do you suggest we do in the meantime to raise people out of poverty? I don't really know.
Yeah, it's times like this where I just wish I had an economist on the show, because I have no idea what the solution is, right? It sounds like a good deal, all things considered. Like you are raising a significantly higher portion of people out of poverty than you are making unemployed. But 1.7 people being unemployed ain't no joke, especially when even as we raise the wage over the next 4 years, people are going to be laid off because automation.
Yep.
And so you have that train moving forward as well. So having that coincide with 1.5 million people suddenly being unemployed, I mean, that just sounds like a recipe for disaster. But once again, like Shannon said, people need more money. The wages haven't been increasing for the workers, but the gains have been increasing for the CEOs and the CFOs and the leaders of these companies and corporations. And so something has to be done about that.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. It's a very unfortunate situation. But what would help? A universal basic income. We're not there yet, though.
It could be Andrew Yang, who, by the way, he's leading the polls in New York City. Yeah. And so, let's see here. We are at the 54-minute mark. So I want to hold off the last two things I have scheduled. Right? And Shannon knows why. I want to hold off the last two things I have scheduled. All right. It is Black History Month. right? We are African Americans. We are the descendants of slaves. Sidebar: my family did something really cool this last weekend, I think it was, where for Black History Month, what we did is we traced our family history.
Oh, cool. How did you do that? With
So my uncle Isaac, he used ancestry.com.
Okay.
And so he did a little bit of the DNA thing as well. And we was able to trace our family members back, to the point where documentation, and this is fascinating but messed up at the same time, where it would read that a certain member of our family was a part of like a household of like 100 and something people. We were like, what?
That's
But
interesting.
It wasn't a household. Slaves.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was how they documented slaves. Yeah, we had certain great aunts who died when they were 20, 21, 22. They died in childbirth. And so you was reading the death certificate. It was really fascinating stuff.
Wow.
And and it just reminds you that this stuff didn't happen that long ago.
No, it didn't. And
so that was my little sidebar. Because Shannon's about to take a quiz. Shannon's taking a quiz. All right, it's Black History Month.
I'm gonna quiz you next week. Just saying.
That's fine. I'm gonna pass mine. So we have a quiz here for Shannon, who,
I might not do very well, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you.
No disclaimers. She's Black, right, Shannon?
I am, but this is not like. Shut up. Just go ahead.
So we thought it'd be fun to give a little Black History quiz for Shannon. So now here's the context. I typed in 5th grade Black History quiz. Right? That's what I typed in. So this is what came up for a 5th grade Black History quiz. Right? So I have some questions here that I'm going to ask Shannon. There's 12 in total. And so we're going to see, how many Shannon gets right, how many Shannon has gotten wrong. Now, full disclosure, I read all of these questions to Shannon before we started, just to, she could get an idea.
I didn't look up anything, guys. I swear.
Yeah. So she doesn't know the answers. I didn't read her any of the multiple choice answers to choose from. I just read her the questions, just to be fair, give her like an idea so she could be thinking about it during the podcast. So here we go. Are you ready, Shannon?
I am. I guess.
Who was the first African American woman to win 5 Grammy Awards in 1 year?
Well, you already gave me the answer to this one. So are you gonna read you're not gonna you're not gonna read the choices?
No, I gave you the answer already.
Oh yeah, it's Lauryn Hill.
Yes. Shannon picked Foxy Brown first time. With the be on the record. All right. Yes. One of those Grammys was for The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, considered by some people as one of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time. Second question, Shannon. Who was the first African American to graduate from Harvard University and become a U.S. Senator? Was it Blanche Bruce, Hiram Rhodes Revels, Colin Powell, or Thurgood Marshall?
I actually don't know the answer to this one. Is it? I actually don't know the answer. Is it? Do I have it? Am I being timed, or can I dwell on mine?
You could dwell. I mean, you should put your phone away.
Can you read it again? Graduated from what school? Harvard?
Harvard University and became a U.S. Senator.
Politicians. Colin Powell's a politician. Is it C?
No, it was Hiram Rhodes. No, it was not C. It was Hiram Rhodes Revels.
Damn.
He was a Republican senator from Mississippi who later became president of Alcorn Agricultural and Mechanical College, which is now Alcorn State University.
Okay.
Next, third question. What is James St. Patrick's nickname on the show Power?
Okay, well, first of all, I'm just gonna guess, but I don't watch Power, so I feel like this should not be held. I feel like this should not be on a Black History quiz. But read. Is it
what
Ghost?
is James St. Patrick's nickname on the show Power?
Is it Ghost?
Yes, it is Ghost.
Okay, I only know that through word of mouth.
Yes. As a student at the Baltimore School of Performing Arts, rapper Tupac Shakur took these classes? Is it A, hip hop and poetry, B, theater and modern dance, C, music appreciation in film, or D, ballet and poetry?
Damn. I was gonna say it was between A or B, and I don't know. Is it A?
No, it is D, ballet and poetry.
Ooh, damn.
Here's a clue.
Okay.
Poetic justice. He studied ballet, too, though he auditioned as a theater major after moving to Baltimore in 1985. If you didn't know, Jada Pinkett Smith attended the school when he did.
Got it. Yeah, I was gonna say B. B was the one that you said theater, right?
No, D is in dog.
No, I know, but did B have theater in it?
Yes, B has theater and modern dance.
I was in between A or B, but then I just went with A.
All right. Who invented the 3-position traffic signal in 1923? That includes the yellow light. Yep. Was it A, J.P. Knight, B, Garrett Morgan, C, Benjamin Franklin, or D, Morgan Freeman?
What kind of a trick question is that? It's B.
Yes, B, Mary. If you got that wrong, I was gonna say, wow, Shannon. Garrett Morgan. You could have guessed that on process of elimination. You know what?
It certainly isn't Ben Franklin. Right. That's what I said.
Morgan
is that
Freeman.
That's what I said.
Yes. He was also the inventor of the gas mask. He came up with the stoplight after seeing cars, buggies, and people collide at intersections. Now, I can't believe this wasn't invented.
Right. I was going to say, I can't believe that there was a time where people were driving and there were no lights
it's crazy.
at the intersection, or no like way to like have traffic pass safely. That's weird.
Yeah, just having stop signs everywhere doesn't sound like a solution. All right. Question number 6. Taraji P. Henson played Katherine G. Johnson in the movie Hidden Figures. Mm-hmm. What was Johnson known for? Was it A, Secretary for the Department of Defense? Was it B, invented America's first clock? C, her calculations helped NASA's space program? Or D, she was the first Black female astronaut?
C.
Yes, C. Her calculations helped NASA's space program.
Yes, I enjoyed that movie. It's very good.
All right. So far, 6 questions in, you are
3 for 6. 3 out of 6. 4 out of 6.
No, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 6.
Woo! Not doing
bad.
as bad as I thought.
Not bad.
See the second half.
What player hit 73 home runs in a season and earned Major League Baseball's Silver Slugger Award 12 times? Was it A, Jackie Robinson, B, Barry Bonds, C, Hank Aaron, or D, Willie Mays?
A.
That was a dumb answer, Shannon. Now, I'm going to explain to you why that was a dumb answer.
I don't know anything about baseball.
Okay. You didn't know who Barry Bonds was?
No.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to get too hard on you. It was Barry Bonds, and it says, but there's much controversy around his home run record because in 2001, when he said it, it was widely believed he was taking some kind of performance enhancing drugs.
Yeah, don't ask me any questions about baseball. Don't know anything. Don't know anything about that.
Question number 8. What was the first historically Black college in America? Was it A, Lincoln University, B, Howard University, C, Shannon University, or D, Wiley College?
I'm pretty sure it was definitely C.
C, Shannon University?
Chennai of Pennsylvania.
Yes,
Chennai.
It is. It was founded in February 1837.
1837.
Mm-hmm.
So long ago.
I know. Question number 9. Which of the following songs is not a song by TLC? It was easy. A, Creep. B, Waterfalls. C, Say My Name. D, No Scrubs.
C. That was easy.
That was so obvious.
If I would have got that wrong, that would have been terribly, like, I don't even know. I would have to stop doing the show because it's embarrassing.
Yes, it would have been. Question 10. In 1939, she wasn't able to perform at Constitutional Hall because of a, quote, white performers only, end quote, policy, but First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt protested, and the singer eventually performed at Lincoln Memorial. Is the answer A, Aretha Franklin, B, Ella Fitzgerald, C, Marian Anderson, or D, Della Reese?
Is it B?
No, it was C. Marian Anderson.
Ah.
She was a civil rights pioneer in her own right because she was the first African American to perform at the White House, Carnegie Hall, and the Metropolitan.
I feel like I recently learned, or not learned. I feel like I recently was exposed to this information, and I
just forgot everything.
No, I just couldn't remember the name. Yeah, so not everything, but one thing. Yes.
All right. Question 11. Which popular rap artist's real name is Nevidius Wilburn or Navidius Wilburn? I'm sorry, I'm mispronouncing your name, bro. Is it A, Young Thug, B, Future, C, 6 Black, whatever, or D, Birdman? I sound out of turn. I said 6 Black. Sorry, Black.
I have no clue. I don't know any of these modern day rappers' real names. I don't know. I don't know.
I have no idea either, but I'm gonna guess Young Thug.
It's Young Thug.
Is that what you're going with?
Oh, I don't know. Is it D? Is it Birdman?
No, it was B, Future.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Nor do I care about what their real names are. So I feel like that doesn't count. That's not a Black History question.
It's not a Black History question.
Is this the last one? Thank you. I don't want to be under the spotlight anymore.
Yeah. If you get this right, it'll be 7 out of 12. If you get this wrong, you only got half right. It's a failing grade. All right. These two historically Black colleges played in the first college football game between Black schools in 1892. Is it A, Morehouse College versus Clark College? Is it B, Howard University versus Hampton Institute? Is it C, Biddle University versus Livingstone College? Or was it D, Fisk University versus Tennessee State University? If Shannon gets this question right, she will pass the Black History test. If she gets it wrong, she is going to be traded for Britney Spears. Go ahead, Shannon.
What? Is it A?
Morehouse versus College? Morehouse versus Clark?
Yeah.
No, it's Biddle University versus Livingstone College.
Damn it! Wait. What was the answer?
Biddle University versus Livingstone College.
I knew I should have guessed something obscure.
Yep.
Damn.
So it says, are you a champ or a chump? Shannon got 6 out of 12. If you got 8 or more answers right, you're a champion. If you didn't, well, there's always Google.
So I would have been a chump anyway if I got 7 right.
No, it said yeah, you would have, yeah. But still, it's better than getting half of them wrong. So as you can see, Shannon, she needs more, she needs to study her history.
First of all. What? Okay, because knowing the real names of these modern day rappers has nothing to do with history. That doesn't count. If I would have gotten, well, I got that question right. The power question, that wouldn't have counted either. I'm just saying. I feel like 6 is okay. I'm gonna hold that. I'm gonna hold it.
All right. So that's the end of this week's show. Shannon just failing on Black History test. I want to thank her for taking it.
I don't know. Okay. If I don't follow baseball and I'm stop making excuses. I just don't follow, the sports questions. Like I don't know anything about sports. So I don't know.
So I'm sure I'll be taking some type of insane test next week.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have it for him. It's gonna be way worse than this test.
I'm confident in my Black History skills and my deductive reasoning skills. Let's be clear. All right. So that test should not be a problem for me.
Okay.
But thank you guys for listening, for watching. Thank you for the new listeners and subscribers. Please remember to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on iTunes. Can you do that on Spotify? I think you can. And anywhere else you see the podcast, please helps the show grow a lot. Thank you so much.
And subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Oh yes, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Everything will be in the description down below. I think that's it.
Yes.
Yeah. So, it's Valentine's Day coming up.
It is. It is this weekend. Yeah.
It's Valentine's Day coming up. They're opening New York City for some reason, even though we have 2 new.
They're opening New York City restaurants to 25% capacity.
Yeah, but that's not going to hold. You know how hard it's going to be if you're a restaurant owner to just turn all that money away when you've been starving for months?
Well, you could either follow the rules or you can get shut down when the people from the state come and check to make sure that you're following the guidelines.
True. I'm just saying. It's gonna be crazy. So stay safe, people. You know, love is not worth risking getting sick. We will see you guys next week. Anything else you have to say, Shannon?
No, I'm all good.
All right. So without further ado, have a great week. We'll see you next time. Deuces.
Bye.